So as is the case with most WoW expansions, you're able to make a ridiculous amount of gold fairly easily if you know what you're doing. So in this video, I want to go over a few profession options that will allow you to skyrocket the potential gold you'll be able to make. Now these profession choices are going to revolve around AoE mob grinding. Now if you haven't been a part of any of the modern WoW expansions, at the start of the expansions, there will constantly be new locations being discovered where you'll set up a group of 5 or 2 groups of 4, and you'll just AoE farm mobs that have pretty much instant respawns to farm specific materials. And these are almost always some of the best ways to make gold early on in expansions. So these profession choices are going to be focused around being able to make a lot more gold with AoE mob grinding. I'll also be releasing another video later today that's going over one of the best AoE mob grinding spots in the War Within right now. So keep an eye out for that, because if you mix what we're going over in this video with that farm, you'll make ridiculous amounts of gold. So for AoE mob grinding in the War Within, there's 2 professions that are going to massively buff it. You have tailoring and you have inscription. Tailoring, because just having tailoring is how you start to get cloth drops in this expansion from any humanoid enemies, and you can also buff this pretty heavily through specialization points. And then with inscription, just having inscription, you'll be getting Dark Moon cards, and you can combine all of the cards of a set to turn into one of the BOE trinkets, which is currently sitting at 577 item level. So those are really good. And you'll also be able to buff up how many of these cards you'll be obtaining to make just tons of additional gold on top of everything else you're going to be getting from AoE mob grinding. So first off, we have our tailoring specializations, and there's a few ways to go about this, but I think this is going to be the most optimal way to earn the most amount of gold. Now, the first thing you're going to need to do to unlock specialization points is you're going to have to get to level 25. This is the same with every profession. So if it's a gathering profession, you go gather till you're 25. If it's a crafting profession, you go craft items until you're 25. Then you'll be able to unlock your first section. Then as you get to 50, 60, and so on, you'll be able to learn more specializations. So at minimum, you're going to need 25. Now, the first thing you're going to want to be going into is quality fabric. And the reason for this being is that once you get 15 points, cloth from humanoids can now sometimes drop at quality 2, which is going to massively increase the price. And then once you get 30 points and max this out, cloth from humanoids will sometimes drop as quality 3, which again will massively increase the gold you're able to get from those items. And all you need for this is 30 points in quality fabric. So that's where the majority of your points are going to be. Now, past putting 30 points into this, you're going to need to get to level 50 and level 60 to unlock 2 more specializations. So that means just going through and crafting any items to level yourself up. Make sure to prioritize crafting any items that are going to be first crafts. So you want to craft everything you can for the first time, because that will also give you specialization points for crafting professions. That's one of the ways I have a lot of specialization points. So I think once you get to level 50, you should go into from dawn until dusk, because once you unlock this, the first one will let you unlock a sub specialization. And with this choice, you can either choose dawn weave tailoring or dusk weave tailoring. Now this is so good because the first point you get just unlocking these will allow enemies to start dropping these different cloths. So you'll either be able to start getting dawn weave or dusk weave cloth from any enemies. And not only will you be getting this new cloth, but since we've already gone into quality fabric, those dawn weave or dusk weave will also be able to be quality 2 or quality 3, which will make, again, a ton of additional gold. So at this point, you're getting regular cloth drop that can be quality 2 or quality 3, and you're also getting either dawn weave or dusk weave that can also be at quality 2 or 3. And then once you get yourself up to 60, you're going to want to go into textile treasures. Now this is really important because just unlocking this will now also let humanoids drop bolts. So specifically weaver cloth bolts. And again, because we're in quality fabrics, those bolts can also be quality 2 or 3. So now we're getting cloth that can be quality 2 or 3. You're getting dawn weave or dusk weave that can be higher qualities. And we're now also getting weaver cloth cloth bolts that can also be those higher qualities. And then as you continue to put more points into textile treasures, you'll just keep increasing the chance for you to find any of the cloths you have unlocked to drop from humanoids. And that's pretty much all the additional points you're going to be putting into. You're going to want to max this out because the last point gives an additional 25% to find cloth from enemies, and every single one of these points just increases the chance by 5 or 10%. So this will just keep giving you more and more cloth drops. So after you've put the 30 points into textile treasures, you'll want to go back to From Dawn Until Dusk, and you'll want to put your next 30 points into this, which will allow you to learn another sub-specialization, which will then allow you to unlock Duskweave or Dawnweave, whichever one you didn't choose. That'll be a little bit later on, once we start to get like daily quests and stuff that gives them more specialization points, and as you get more and more patterns, which will just allow you to get your first time crafts for more specialization points. And that's what I think is going to be the most optimal route to go through specialization through tailoring to massively increase the gold you're able to get from AoE mob grinding. You're just going to be getting tons of different cloths, and they're all going to be able to be at the highest of quality. But that brings us to inscription, and the main reason you're going to want inscription is because once you have it, you'll be able to start randomly getting Dark Moon card drops from killing any enemies. And if you combine all of the cards of one set, it makes a BOE trinket that's currently at like 577 item level, and Dark Moon trinkets are usually heavily used at the start of expansions. Now you can also just sell the cards themselves, but it does seem that turning them into trinkets makes a lot more gold. And something else that's really important to note with these is that the trinkets themselves are gear pieces, they're not materials, so they're specific to your server, unlike materials that are region-wide. So this means that the price of these Dark Moon trinkets can be heavily dependent on your server. Lower population servers are probably going to have a lot higher prices on these, but they're probably going to sell a bit less frequently. And the same thing with all the other professions, you're going to have to be crafting things with inscription until you get to level 25 so you can unlock your specializations. Now, I'm only level 25 with this, so I don't have as many specialization points, and I don't have any of the other specializations unlocked, but it doesn't seem like you need any of the other specializations. So once we've gotten to level 25, we're going to go unlock archival additions. And just unlocking this is going to allow you to unlock a sub-specialization, so you're going to unlock Cryptic Collection. Now, when you unlock Cryptic Collection, just unlocking it is going to allow you to unlock a sub-specialization. Now, all 4 of these sub-specializations are going to be basically the same thing in terms of AoE grinding and making more gold, because putting 15 points into any one of these increases your ability to find Dark Moon cards by 50%. And this is the main thing we're going to be wanting. So you're going to just unlock Cryptic Collection, put 15 points into any one of these Dark Moon sigil specializations so you can get the increase to Dark Moon cards. Then you're going to go back, you're going to put 10 points into Cryptic Collection, which will give you another sub-specialization. Then you're going to unlock another one. And if you have enough points, put 15 points into that to get more Dark Moon cards. And you're just going to keep going through that. You put 10 more points into Cryptic Collection, unlock another Dark Moon sigil, put 10 points into this, and you'll get another 50%. And you can do this for all 4 depending on how many points you have. And I will say that I'm getting quite a lot of cards even with just the 150% increase. So if you go and do a lot more of these recipes and get as much specialization points as you can get, you could probably get 2 up to 50%, probably not 3, but maybe if you min-max you might be able to, and you'll just make more and more gold. Now I will note that I'm not sure if inscription itself just gives you the ability to find these cards, or if you have to go into archival editions, or if you have to go into Cryptic Collection, because none of them specifically say that they give you the ability to find Dark Moon cards, so I'm not 100% sure, but you want to go into these anyway. But that's pretty much all I want to go over. If you're into AoE mob grinding and you want to make a lot more gold doing it, you're going to want to go pick yourself up tailoring and inscription and go through the specialization points that we went through. This will make you absurdly high amounts of increased gold, and this will just set you up to make ridiculous amounts of gold at the start of this expansion. But that's all I want to go over, so thanks for watching.